Ooh, my, it's kind of dark in here. Hey there, folks, and welcome to Ghostmaster Resurrection, a remaster of Ghostmaster in the Unreal Engine 5, I believe. I think it's Unreal Engine 5. But welcome to Ghostmaster, in other words. Which, yeah, Ghostmaster is technically one of my favorite PC games, period, in terms of games, and I was so happy that this finally got remade and stuff. Because, yeah, in terms of PC games, I had like 5 or 6 PC games in terms of PC games I know of. There's Roller Coaster Tycoon, which I hope that hits consoles sooner or later, which eventually should. You have The Sims, of course. And you got SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, the PC version, which, yeah, that was definitely something to say, for the most part. And then, oh, Locomotion. And I'm trying to think of another one, but here we go to the story anyways.
What is your name, spirit?
Yep, so here we are doing something that's kind of classic when it comes to PC games, which is putting in your name at the end of the day. Which I'm trying to figure out the count on this, how many letters you can put all together and stuff. And oh yeah, the 6th game I just realized, Sid Meier's Railroads. That's the other one I can think of. Yeah, I was trying to put my full name here, and nope, you can't do it. I think at best it's at 8 letters. Let's see there. Oh no, that's not 8. That's 10. So you can sure just put 10 letters at best. But yeah, we'll just go with literal in that case. But yeah, I'm happy that they kept that of all things, I will say.
Huh? The following haunters have been assigned to you. Treat them well.
So I hope everyone liked the video on that, because yeah, that'd be a straight rip from the original game itself. Because yeah, of all the things they didn't remake, they didn't really remake upon that. So yeah, here we go up to the first level of the game here.
We are taking you
which
to
is
the
a
Kappa
sorority
Lambda
house.
sorority house in Gravenville University.
And over Taunting 101.
Only a small number
So-
of sorority girls are in residence at the moment, but scaring them all away should be a sufficient test of your abilities.
Yeah, so it's interesting he says what he says there, because it sounds like there's supposed to be like a tutorial before Haunting 101, but I guess they just didn't have the time to do the tutorial levels, so in other words, you have just straight to the point, basically. So basically, unlike the original, where you basically just straight up just pick the ghost team, which I tried to select Weather Witch there, but it wasn't able to, so instead we're just going to go straight to the selection here. So, you have recommended on the bottom right, you can just pick, and it'll just give you the ghosts that you need for at least to not only complete the level, but to complete whatever task you may have to for ghosts that are captured here. Or jailed, so to say. Yeah, here is Weather Witch, though. Yeah, stupid tutorial. Yeah, that's the only problem about this game. This game is a bit buggy, just heads up in advance.
Since I went and got myself sucked into this electric broomstick, all I can manage is this infernal sneezing. Achoo! It'd be a different matter if I got free, mind you. I'd whip up a storm to wake the dead.
So yeah, so you'll see these trapped ghosts here, and your objective is to unlock them somehow by doing the Pacific deed on their behalf of what they said there. So basically, you need something to break that vacuum at the end there. Which we have it. We had the ghosts just for that, so. And it doesn't have to be a huge cost either. That's the best part. Yeah, just following the tutorial here, because yeah, basically left stick's just to move around, right stick's just twist it about, and R2, L2 is to elevate the rooms, while R1, L1 is to zoom in and zoom out. Square is to interact, while X is... honestly, I'm not really sure what X is besides touching the menu, I believe. Yeah, but yeah, I think that's really about... oh no, I think square is just touching the menu itself, so... huh, weird. Can't remember what the X does. I think it is the menu, I think. Come back with it. I'm not really sure. But yeah, to say, basically we have we basically have ghosts, and these ghosts basically work on certain selection of things that they are tied to at the end of the day. But as of now, I'm basically just showing the bios of each of these characters, because yeah, each of these characters have a bio, and these bios will indicate what kind of weakness they may have in regards. Like example, oh no, this one just tells you just straight up, so this one technically doesn't have much of a weakness. There is a way you can discover their weaknesses, though, if you have the ghost to do it. Which we technically do, but I didn't select that one, so. Instead, we have the other one. Which, in some cases, I kind of debate if I probably should have went with that one or not. But, it's hard to say as it goes. Yeah, so, as you've seen on some of the bios there, some of them have fear of cut lights, and some have a fear of spiders and stuff, too. But for now, we're going to get Weather Witch here, which how you do that is basically you use Cog Jammer here, because there's a radio above the vacuum there, and use Wild and Crazy. Basically cause the equipment to break and malfunction and stuff. Grievous and Weather Witch. But I gotta say, for a first ghost, I love whoever voiced the first ghost. The first ghost is always pretty good. Let's blow this joy! Same ghost. So basically, Cogjammer is tied to electric stuff, while Stonewall here is tied to Earth stuff, because basically the ghosts are based upon their... I don't know what's the best way to say it, basically their ghost Scientology, basically. Nah, I don't like Scientology. It's some kind of science of ghosts at the end of the day. Best way to say it. Yeah, each ghost is tied to whatever they need to be at the end of it. Like example, Boo needs to be inside no matter what, which does shock me on that, because I find that's a bit of a limitation when it comes to using Boo and stuff. But Clatter Claws makes sense because being inside, I mean, it's on the ceiling. It's a giant spire on the ceiling at the end of it. As I say, a giant spire loosely, it's the size of my, I would say size of the head at best. As it stands. I will note it does have ability to get itself bigger, so I will say that in advance. But yeah, we're basically just going to cause straight up chaos to all these girls in the sorority house because I will say when it comes to if you have to rely on weaknesses, you technically don't. It is a bonus, and it does give you bonuses for doing so. As you can see, there are 2 times. But I think that 2 times is just, you know, you can just dish out more damage on them 1 or 2 times like that. Otherwise, you never really need to rely on that very much, except for like certain points I can think of. But that will be till in due time when it comes to that. So yeah, let's just cause chaos to this house at the end of the day, because yeah, your goal is to scare all the girls out of the sorority house. As it is called Haunted 101. Yeah, we're just using every means to scare them, because basically we're just filling up the plasma, which the plasma is that top left there. Plasma is basically the meter you can use of ghosts of power, so I will say be careful ever seeing that, because if you ever see that, you will get a signal that will say, hey, stop doing, or stop using so much, or otherwise you instantly lose the game. So be careful ever seeing over the plasma limit that you are given. Now, in order to get the plasma to go up, you basically just have to scare girls or make them believe, or make them drive into insanity. The most obvious cases what we're going to do to these girls is mostly the terror case. Insanity is a special case, while belief, I'm not really technically sure what it really does. Besides maybe inducing more damage onto them at the end of the day, because as they will start believing more into the ghost at the such. So that's the thing I try to figure out half the time. So I do need to give a bit more of an index when it comes to these ghosts and stuff, because yeah, as I'm just going around just chucking ghosts left and right, because I'm just so skilled at this most of the case when it comes to this game, how to go about and such. Because yeah, example, there is a thing you can do here where you probably saw me just did this, where I activated the power and then immediately turn it off, and then activate another power and then turn it off, because you can basically go combo walling on this game, because it doesn't even stop you from having a cooldown to proceed into another move or not. Oh yeah, she's under the second slot, but yeah, here's the first one that's running away as of right now. I'm trying to recall what her name is. Who was that? Oh well, she's running away. She goes again. I think it's... Wait, was it Karen? I hope it's not Karen. Good God. I didn't expect the first one to be that. Yeah, using Clatter Claws. So your Clatter Claws is great for just putting straight up terror on it. Yeah, that was Karen. Oh no, the other one's Karen. Okay, so the second one was Karen. Okay, I can't recall who the fourth one was. But yeah, basically Boo is basically your, what I call the collar ghost. He basically will help you lure people into the spot at the end of the day. That's what's great about Boo, and a lot of people don't really realize about that. And then you got Clatter Claws, which is just dedicated for just causing straight up terror to anyone it sees upon at the end of the day. Stonewall is basically your unique ghost, where his terror can go through the roof as long as the position of opportunity is just right. Same case with Coghammer 2 as well. Coghammer has some special effects too, where you can cause the person to, like example, you see a storm cloud over the pink one there, or pink girl there, Blair, I believe her name is. If she turns on lights, she will get shocked as a result. Sadly, I'm not really utilizing that, but I will say that's basically what's going to happen here. And is she gone? No, I think she's still going. Still going. But yeah, you just got all these girls just tearing the crap out of it at the end of the day. And Weather Witch is basically your storm ghost at the end of the day. Which I will say storm ghosts are kind of weird because it feels like they don't do a whole lot, but they do things just outside the realm at the end of the day. I guess to say they're just really kind of the type of ghosts at the end of the day. Same case with Boo, but Boo is a color ghost, which I give him a much more up on that part. I just kind of wish they tweaked him a bit, where he could actually go through rooms and stuff and chase the people, as intended what was shown throughout the videos and stuff. It would have been nice there, but at best he just chases whatever's within the room, so sad. Sadly. Yeah, so now we're just trying to get the rest of these people out of here, as the saying goes. Now you probably are noticing something if you have played the normal difficulty of Ghostmaster. You probably notice it's taken a good bit for them to just run away. This is going to be on the hard difficulty because the hard difficulty not only makes them spongier, but your score is guaranteed to be mostly 3 pumpkins if you're pretty good at Ghostmaster as it is. Because I'll just say, there's a reason why I'm doing hard mode is because of one specific DLC level we'll be getting here. Because I do have DLCs, but only just the first 2 as given. I do not have the new ones that are ongoing as of now, as the thing goes. Cause yeah, I usually don't really go for DLC unless they're on sale like dirt cheap. The exception is. Which, I might go for DLC for this case because it does add a bit newer, interesting game modes, considering there's one in the future. Which, yeah, it almost looks like she got hit by a car. Good God. Bye. Have a nice life. Oh. We won't need her later. No, we won't need her later at all. But yeah, you're guaranteed for those 3 pumpkins if you do on hard. If you do on normal, you have to speedrun this hardcore. Or, no, I won't say speedrun it, you have to do special means just to get that score high enough. But because it's on hard difficulty, you're guaranteed to have that 3 pumpkins most of the case. There's a rare case you're not going to get those. But if you do it on hard though, it's to get them. So we're doing at least one more level, but before we do that, we're going to go to the hub area. As everything goes. Yeah, it's this big old looking, I don't know, it's not a chapel, is it? I would say something like a university or something, maybe? Something like that. Where you can basically, as you've seen there was plasm that we got in pumpkins. Those are currencies for the game. Now gold plasm a lot of people are familiar with in the normal game, but pumpkins are somewhat the new currency in this game. The pumpkins were just a rating system in the original game, you see. But in this one, it's now a currency for something that we were given as well on top of it. Now, as you can probably see here what I'm doing here, I'm basically buying some moves for the ghosts, because these ghosts you can get more moves for the ghosts at the end of the day, so to say. The only problem is that they only get a selected amount of moves, and the moves are very limited of what they're given at the end of the day. And it's fine in some cases. In some cases it balances the ghosts, and some other cases, like this one here, I will rarely ever use, I'll just say. Because Ghastly is just not a really good ghost. And I hate to say that, for those that saw the video where he's split in half and stuff, I'm rarely going to use this one at all. Or, if anything, one bit, because he's just not that great, to be honest, in comparison to the other ones here. Weather Witch has a couple of crazy moves, and I will say I'll probably be buying some of these moves in the future, because then Aura Rain's kind of useful. Rain's kind of useful. Distant Thunder's great for extra terror and that stuff. That's got, I think she has Fright there too as well, which Fright's pretty good too. Yeah, we have Shivers here, which I didn't use in the previous map, but I will say definitely be using that one for the next one here. We have World Weird, which is easily one of the worst ghosts, sadly. However, they did add a twist to them, where you can see on the on the feather there, which is basically what the ghost is tied to, which is madness. So as you see, these are poltergeist kind of ghosts. As in ghosts. Or in other words, the type that is called disturbance. Because yeah, I will say each ghost have a dedicated type and stuff, and I won't really elaborate a whole lot on that, but there's like things they mention, which is kind of important for the lore of them, but to me, it's not really the game aspect of the game itself, besides knowing what they are at the end of it. And that's still good, it's just not very relevant enough to me. Yeah, as you can see, Weather Witch is a vapor. Which, to me, if I see this, to me it's just a rain ghost at the end of it. Although there is ghosts that are just like her that do not do rain, so not all of them do rain. But the name kind of gives away what they are, or what they're capable of doing. And stuff. I mean, look at Shivers, he's really shaking. He's gonna be the most crazy. He's gonna be one of the most craziest ghosts, and it really shows with TK Storm. If you don't know what TK Storm, prepare to see that in the future here. And then we got Boo in the cafeteria there. We also have Cogjammer. Cogjammer is basically the gremlins, what they're basically called, or in other words, a sprite. But the sprite is basically they're the tricky kind of ghosts. Basically, just do a lot of crazy luck-based stuff. Or just straight up also terror, but not as crazy. If I had to choose between either Clatterclaws or Cogjammer, I would pick Clatterclaws for most of the terror case, while Cogjammer for any of the special cases, even though we're going to have more electric ghosts in the future, they're just going to obviously just do it better at the end of the day. And then we have Boo here, which Boo, like I said, is an inside ghost, but this ghost is very useful for calling people to you at the end of it. Using Rattle Chains or Fool's Errand here. I'll probably grab here for powers as well. Because yeah, he has Thunderclap, Jinx as the other choices. Jinx is not bad, but you have to force him to turn the lights off though, so yeah, that's not really great. If anything, Thunderclap's not bad. Moan is not bad either, but Fool's Errand would technically be better, as you will force the person to go into the bigger targets at the end of it. Because Boo does not do crazy powers, but his kinesis is pretty good enough, as if. Oh yeah, and you probably saw me buy a certain power immediately for Stonewall there. Let's just say that's going to be useful throughout the game. It is one of the most broken powers, and to this day, on this remaster alone, I'm surprised they kept this power this low still. But then again, they probably want to keep it as original as intended. So, prepare to see something broken in a bit, basically. But here is Ether too, which Ether is really good as well. I will say Ether is like, I want to say a more of an attack version of Weather Witch at the end of the day, especially with the Shattering Song. Shattering Song is really freaking good, considering how fast that comes back too. Cause yeah, you're gonna be constantly end up using that one a lot throughout as well. Because if you ain't using Quake User, you're gonna use that, which is also fine, basically, considering how quick Shattering Song gets. But Ether is basically a wind spirit. So say, or not technically wind spirit, but it's like a fairy spirit. It's kind of weird in that one. It's like we're all weird as that goes. But yeah, that's basically the ghost that we have as of now, besides the new one that we got, which is Weather Witch. Well, yeah, which Weather Witch is going to sit right there in the middle of the hall. We got all these spots for other ghosts in the future, so you kind of wonder what kind of ghosts do we have that's going to be associated with these spots at the end of the day. And some of them are going to make sense, while some of them are going to make you question. I'll just say that in advance. But yeah, that's basically the hub area in general. I will say I did forget to show one thing, and I'll be showing it at basically the near end, to be honest. But basically, those pumpkins are going to be useful for a certain tree in the future, which is the talents, as you see there on the triangle button. You can also turn around and exchange gold plasm. Oh yeah, and I turn around and grab Fool's Errand, because yeah, that one's pretty good. That one's pretty good. Ghost turn around exchange gold plasma for a pumpkin too, so you don't always have to go re-grind for pumpkins if you don't have to. Or if so, you grind for the pumpkins and then also get the plasma as well. There's many ways to go about it. But just to say though, those pumpkins are going to take a lot when it comes to grind. On to Weird Seance.
The smug and irritating youths of the Alpha Tau fraternity mock the supernatural and do not respect the dead. One desires that they be made to experience the full power of the spirit world. And now, an opportunity has arisen. As the young mortals gather for a party, 3 socially maladjusted individuals are attempting a seance in the basement. The members of the fraternity believe they are tuning up their generator, not calling upon the spirit world. They are opening the door. You must not disappoint them. Everyone must be driven away in terror. Then they will know the true power of the supernatural.
Yep, so basically, we have some,
Like, what do you call it when my 3 geekazoid friends hold
oh
a
yeah,
seance
that's
for
gonna
me?
happen throughout, I will say.
Hey,
Sorry about that. As the saying goes.
get rid of that Mamoid Alpha Tau Jock president, would
But
you?
yeah, it just ruins the cutscene. And we're just gonna do this real quick. Cause yeah, here's the problem that might be more of a problem to the remaster, to the OG one. I think because the fact you're able to free roam instantly, the game is constantly ongoing as a result, and as a result you have people running around. So if you don't time things just right, you might lose the chance of even doing it. Because yeah, just to say, there's a ghost tied to that pinball machine.
I need payback on the leader, man. Make like Linda Blair and set his head is spinning.
Yeah, that ghost there, that's Window. While that ghost down there is Lucky. Which yeah,
Oh, hello.
one of those pesky ghosts. This is one of them.
Beeping table. Table usually warm and safe, but sometimes table zaps Lucky, which Lucky not like. Table only zaps when 2-legged things play well, though. And 2-legged things not play so well no more. So Lucky stay here and keep warm.
Yeah, so that there is Lucky, but we do have one more ghost to show, which is Terrorize. Terrorize is this jar right here. Which, this jar is a brain jar.
Legal research would be enough indignity. Without kids stealing all that's left of me, this jar's lid isn't as snug as those I'm accustomed to. If you break me out, I'll help you create quite a spectacle.
But yeah, I have no idea why the Alpha Tau has a brain jar, but that's something, that's something. Oh yeah, and you probably notice something during every once in a while. If you look outside when we start the game, you probably notice something that it was normal the last time we were here, and then when I did the restart and we came back in, you notice now it's snowing. That's because the weather effects change depending on when you enter in the game at the end of the day, which I don't know if that really affects anything bad at the end of the day, because I can't really think of anything that affects bad upon that, but it's interesting though, interesting mechanic there they did for the remaster as well. So yeah, our objective as of right now is to get Lucky off the pinball machine. And I just say this is going to be one pain in the butt, because this took me like 10 minutes just to deal with this hassle at the end of the day, but your goal is to make someone lucky enough, because yeah, Lucky's perk as a electric gremlin cat is that she can use Charm or Luck Storm. I will say specifically you want to use Charm. Charm will cause someone to be lucky, which gives them the higher chance to win things, you see. So in other words, they can win the pinball machine. If it works, though. Because, you see, here's the bad part. It works when it wants to. So chances are, if you're speedrunning this game, and if you have to collect Lucky in the process, which I get the feeling most speedrunners just say F Lucky at the end of the day, I kind of wonder. on that, but you have to use charm to get the luck status, and then once you get the luck status, you really hope that the person wins at the end of it. The other way you can do it is using Luck Storm too, but that really depends if you get them lucky at the end of it. Because I will say the Luck Storm does the opposite effect too, which makes them jinxed at the end of it. But as you can see, I immediately cast Charm on this girl here. But as you can also see here, the Charm effect doesn't work 100% of the time. So, you'll get a failed moment, and then you have to wait like another 30 seconds or so for get them to try again. But after doing like 6 to 7 minutes there, I finally got him to win at the end of it. And my other biggest complaint here too.
Not warm and safe at all. Perhaps Lucky will play with you until next nap time.
Okay, let stupid Lucky say the rest of that at the end of it. Is that the pinball is supposed to shock her? It's not shocking nor even malfunctioning at all like the original is, and that is a big complaint I have there immediately when it comes to this remaster, because I will say this remaster has some 50-50 of things that are better or worse, and I think the biggest worst of all is that they don't have the shock effect that the radios or like the vacuum should have had when I was malfunctioning them earlier to get Weather Witch and stuff. So now at this point, I'm just gonna go around scaring people, because basically Windows' case is that he wants to take out a specific person, which is, I believe it's not Tony, although Tony's a pain in the ass. It's another guy, so say it's the leader of the pack of the guys at the end of it. You need to take him out in the process, because he's the one that caused Windows' death at the end of it, apparently. But here we go with a mother humping Earthquake though, because yeah, here's the best part about Earthquake, it just breaks things. Considering especially Terrorize, because Terrorize can also be an awful case. It's just a really odd awful case, you see. So. Because yeah, you would have to make someone jinx and use Intrigue just to have someone break that jar at the end of the day. The other case is using, I believe, Boo's Kinesis is good enough too, I think, for the most part. But that's the 3 options I can think of in order to get Terrorized. But if you just use Earthquake, if you turn around and just buy Earthquake for Stonewall, you're good. You're set for life. Oh yeah, I think Shatter Song might be the other one too. But yeah, there was a bunch of choices to get terrorized at the end of it, but people always go after the most complex of choices, which I'm not sure why they do that. So, if you want an easier time on your life, get Earthquake. Earthquake is a savior, I gotta say. Now, as you can probably see, I'm trying to, oh yeah, use some Kinesis real quick, use it. But yeah, as you can see, if I ever surpass over the Plasm counter, it will start red alert, and if you have that hanging on for too long, you lose the game right then and there. So, beware of ever overcosting, so to say. And especially in hard mode, because I will say, what's also the other differences in hard mode? Besides being more spongier, your Plasm does drain a lot quicker too. So, be careful about that as well, as the thing goes. Yeah, so now we're just basically scaring people until we get rid of the certain jock out a bunch. So are they jocks? I don't know. It's kind of weird. I don't know university words very much. I should at the end of it, but that's what it is. But basically the leader pack of the Alpha Tau. Yeah, we got like 6 people here just terrorizing the crap out of it at the end of it. But yeah, Boo's really great for calling in anyone that you want to cause big damage to at the end of the day. And such. Yeah, so now we just caught some leaks and stuff, got some more Kinesis. Oh yeah, and the other thing about hard mode too is that I think their bars are a lot bigger too, so it's gonna take a while until they get scared at the end of the day, but I'll take it on that because I do like a I will say I do find the normal mode a bit too quick for the most part. And, well, for story beans, I find it a bit too quick and also a bit deadly in some cases. Because then there's another level in the future here, which I'm kind of happy the hard mode makes it tougher to scare this guy at the end of the day. But most of the cases, I actually had a problem with this one specific guy because his terror bar is so low and such. Okay, so that just caused constant terror throughout the freaking place. Which, yeah, that plasma just skyrockets when you hit just right. Especially with Shower Song here, oh my god. It may be a high pitch annoying, but it is damn useful for what it does. Because I will say, that whole big circle as it spans, it hits everything within that circle. So basically, it's like technically a screen nuke, but it's a big screen nuke at the end of the day. Or it's not technically a screen nuke, but it's like almost a screen nuke. While Quake is straight up a screen nuke. As the thing goes. Okay, here we go, summon the TK Storm, which, yeah, TK Storm, you want like if you ever want high terror and high belief, TK Storm is basically the upgraded version of Kinesis at the end of it. It's just the problem is it's on selected ghosts though, and very specific ghosts, so chances are you're rarely going to use that at the end of it. Because I'll just say this, you want a heavy hitter that hits hard, and you want ghosts that constantly keep hitting the target at the end of the day, which I'm gonna be honest, I would go with the ghosts that hit the target constantly, because it keeps them up at the end of the day. Where a heavy hitter will hit them good, but the problem is that cooldown takes so long until it comes back. Because that TK Storm, once that's used, it's gonna be a good while till used again. Same case with Quake too, because that is the fundamental problems I do realize sometimes about Quake sometimes, that Quake isn't as broken as I really think sometimes. Sometimes is the case where Shatter Song kind of beats over Quake a little bit here and there. But Quake is great for a big heavy hit. It's probably the best heavy hitter you could probably get out of a bunch, I will say. And especially when you're going to be using Earth most of the case throughout the game, because most of the terrains are going to be Earth. There's going to be a rare case it's not on that matter. But yeah, as you can see, we had 3 guys down there performing a seance for Wendell. Because those are the 3 guys that were friends to Wendell, even though it sounds like Wendell doesn't kind of give a crud. Considering we now just have Wendell. But yeah, Wendell is, I hate to say this, probably the worst one out of the Casper trio. Because yeah, we have 3 Casper ghosts in the future here. We have Wendell, we're going to have Quiver in the future, and we have Boo as a start. Quiver we ain't going to have till the second chapter, so seconds. Yeah, I will say each game is in a flow, or this game is in a flow of chapters. See, and such. Yeah, so it's really caused the terror to these guys, which ain't gonna take much. Because yeah, while they are in a bit of a thorough place, they will get feared out eventually. It's very easy to do fear for the most part. But yeah, Wendell is just not really great compared to the other 2 because he doesn't really call, as you can see here. He has a best footsteps, but that's not really good enough, I'll just say. Quiver is a whole lot better because he gets Wild Geese, and Wild Geese is basically Fool's Errand if you hit the whole party with it at the end of it. And plus he also gets Fool's Errand too. So that's why Quiver is just obviously just kind of better for the most part. Especially he also has Trimmer, and then we'll get Gore in the future too for that one. That's how good Quiver is in comparison to Boo. But for now, just going mayhem here as we cause these other people to run the frick out here at the end of the day. Cause yeah, like I said, the only problem about doing the hard mode is that these bars are gonna be a bit spongier to dish out at the end of the day. But that's fine. I like I said, I don't mind it. It causes a bit more of a story and lets me explain a bit more of the game at the end of the day. Because I'll just say this: The time I spend here alone would be half compared to on normal. But the problem is, if you do it on normal, hope you're pretty skilled at what you do, I'll just say, to score big. Because if you don't score very big, you ain't getting those pumpkins. Where on hard mode, it just guarantees to give you that, which it really shocks me. It really shocks me how easy it is on the score difference between hard to normal. Because in that case, I would choose hard for the most part. Got some rail chains. Just absolute madness, I gotta say. So it is pretty funny. Just constantly just see it keep going and going. Especially with the piping or the bagpipe one. Cause yeah, it is funny that Ether does two like the funniest things: the sheriff's song and the bagpipe, and as such. Just perform a leak on the top. But good God, that guy in the middle there. Don't turn on the lights, whatever you do. And he's out of here. Oh yeah, Tony Tufeo. Whoop. Tony Tuplo or something like that? I can't remember. But yeah, but that guy in the future is gonna be a pain in the butt, I'll just say that. Even though the remaster completely changed the issue I have with that guy. So he's not having a problem anymore. Oh yeah, there is one other thing I do mention. I hope this music ends up on Spotify one day, because the freaking music is a banger, man, when it comes to hearing the near climax part of the map. Because basically, once you basically cause the plasma to skyrocket at some point, this music starts to play. I will note, the remaster added more music, but they fell in comparison to this one alone, which you can in the menu change it to just the original music if you do not like the remaster composers they did. Which, yeah, I'm gonna be honest, I'm just gonna probably stick with the original because the original was just so much better. It's how much of a banger that is for a Halloween jam. But yeah, that's basically Weird Seance in a nutshell, though, at the end of the day. Basically, just get those 3 ghosts and get the heck out. As long as you deal with the pesky that is lucky, because you have to be lucky to get lucky. But yeah, 122,000 that score, pretty crazy. So yeah, I'll see you guys all next time. When next time we deal with Ghostmaster here. I will say, I'm gonna show one more thing before I skedaddle here. Cause yeah, here's the talents. Cause yeah, I was meaning to show that on the before part, but I forgot to, so I might as well show it right now. So this is basically a skill tree that they added for the remaster, because this is not in the original, I will say. But basically, each of these trees do a specific thing to enhance your experience on the game at the end of the day. Like, you got cooldowns, but you got melee going after that. You got damage dealt of terror. You have insanity up there, and you also have belief up there. Or no, this is belief right here. I take that back. But yeah, you have belief down below, which, like I said, I really don't know what's the point of doing belief. Besides a specific guy in the future here I will mention. But terror and insanity is usually the other better of the bunch to do. And then you got the plasma mount, which, yeah, that's a very good one to get as well. And then you got ones that are dedicated to elementals. So if you use elementals and stuff, this could be very useful here too. To make the elementals even more broken than ever, specifically Earth. But yeah, we're immediately getting that cooldown though. That cooldown is going to be very useful in the upcoming future here. I will note, you do not need to use these trees at all, because as the saying goes, the game did not really preserve on that, the original game itself. But that basically wraps that for Ghostmaster here, so I'll see you guys all next time, people. You guys take care, and I hope you enjoyed what you watched here.
Not for show. Someone had to die.